The unsupported man does not lose because he lacks talent. He loses because he talks too early. He tells people the plan before he has power. He explains the vision before he has proof. He exposes the wound before he has armor. And then he wonders why the same people who doubted him suddenly know exactly where to aim. A supported man can afford to be misunderstood. He has family behind him. He has a network around him. He has people protecting his name in rooms he cannot enter. He can make mistakes, reveal too much, recover from bad timing, and still find another door open somewhere. But an unsupported man lives under a different law. No safety net. No powerful family. No one making calls for him. No one defending him when his name is spoken with doubt. No one explaining his intentions when he is not there to explain himself. No one coming to save him when the world decides to misunderstand him. So before he becomes powerful, he must become disciplined with information, because people cannot sabotage what they cannot locate. They cannot delay what they do not know is coming. They cannot pull down a future they were never given a map to. Machiavelli understood something most men learn too late. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. That one sentence is not just political wisdom. It is survival law. People do not respond to your truth. They respond to what they think your truth is. They respond to the version of you they can see, label, mock, predict, and control. And when you are unsupported, you cannot afford to let careless people define your becoming before you have the strength to defend it. Most men think power begins when people finally notice them. Wrong. Power begins when you stop needing to be noticed too early. This is the first rule. Hide the man you are becoming. This is where most unsupported men fail. A man starts changing, quietly at first. He wakes up earlier. He trains when no one is watching. He reads instead of wasting the night. He studies money. He studies people. He cuts distractions. He stops laughing at things that used to keep him weak. He begins to feel a new identity forming under the old one. And because he has spent years being doubted, he wants witnesses. He wants his family to finally believe. He wants his friends to finally respect him. He wants the people who ignored him to finally realize they were wrong. He wants to say, I am changing. I am not who you thought I was. I am becoming something else. That desire is human. But it is dangerous. Because people who benefited from your old identity should not receive early access to your new one. When you reveal who you are becoming too soon, they do not always see growth. Many of them see a threat to the role they assigned you, a threat to the comfort they had around your weakness, a threat to the quiet superiority they felt when they compared themselves to you. The lazy man becoming disciplined threatens those who bonded with his laziness. The broke man learning money threatens those who needed him dependent. The quiet man learning power threatens those who mistook his silence for submission. The underestimated man becoming competent threatens every person who built confidence from standing above him, so they may not attack you directly. They will use softer weapons. A joke that lands too precisely. A fake concern that sounds like wisdom. A casual reminder of your past. A small comment designed to make your ambition feel ridiculous. A sentence delivered with a smile, but shaped like a chain. They will not say, I fear what you might become. They will say, do not change too much. They will say, be realistic. They will say, you think you are better now. They will say, that is not really you. And if you are still hungry for validation, you will stop building and start explaining. That is the trap. The unsupported man cannot build his future and defend every brick at the same time. Construction is vulnerable. A building half-built can be entered, damaged, mocked, and delayed. A finished structure speaks for itself. Do not give people a tour of your construction site. Let them meet the architecture when it can no longer be denied. You do not owe early access to people who only respect finished results. You do not owe explanations to people who never invested in your foundation. You do not need applause during the process from people who only know how to clap after victory becomes obvious. Build quietly. Let the old version of you remain useful as cover. Let them think they still understand you. Let them believe you are still predictable. Let them underestimate your discipline while you sharpen it in private. The unsupported man should not be in a hurry to be recognized. Recognition is expensive when it comes too early. It invites attention before protection. It invites opinions before results. It invites resistance before strength. And when you have no network, no shield, and no powerful name behind you, premature attention can become a tax on your ambition. The second rule is this: hide how you read them. Most men want to prove they are perceptive. They notice a change in tone, so they mention it. They detect envy, so they expose it. They see inconsistency, so they confront it. They sense fake loyalty, so they announce that they know. They want the other person to know they are not blind. This feels powerful for a moment, but it is foolish. Because the moment people know how you read them, they stop revealing themselves naturally. If they know you watch their tone, they adjust their tone. If they know you notice inconsistency, they become carefully consistent. If they know you detect envy, they hide envy behind praise. If they know you study behavior, they begin acting like better people whenever you are watching. You lose the raw signal, and raw signal is everything. Imagine a coworker who smiles at you in public, but subtly competes with you in private. You notice how his warmth increases when a manager is nearby. You notice how his praise always contains a small insult. You notice how he asks about your plans, not because he supports them, but because he wants information. A foolish man says, "I see what you are doing." From that moment, the coworker adapts. He becomes cleaner, more careful, more polished. You no longer see the truth. You see his performance. A strategic man says nothing. He watches longer. He lets the pattern repeat. He lets the mask slip when the other person feels safe. He lets people show their loyalty, fear, envy, greed, insecurity, and ambition without warning them that they are being measured. The unsupported man cannot afford blindness. He does not have a council of advisors. He does not have a loyal network filtering threats for him. He does not have powerful people quietly telling him who to trust and who to avoid. He must learn to observe with precision. But observation loses value when it is announced. Let people speak. Let them move. Let them contradict themselves. Let them reveal what they value when they think no one is studying the room. Do not interrupt the confession by telling them you understand it. A fool says, "I see exactly what you are." A disciplined man watches longer. Your perception is a blade. Do not show people the blade. The third rule is this: hide your patience. The man who can be rushed can be controlled. This is true in money. It is true in negotiation. It is true in relationships. It is true in status. It is true in every room where someone wants something from you. The moment people know your deadline, they gain leverage. If they know you need the job, they lower the offer. If they know you need the reply, they delay it. If they know you need the relationship, they reduce their effort. If they know you need approval, they ration it like food. Visible urgency becomes a leash. The unsupported man must become dangerous with time because he often cannot win immediately. He may not have money yet. He may not have status yet. He may not have proof yet. He may not have allies yet. But he can have patience, cold patience. The kind that does not announce itself. The kind that does not beg. The kind that does not tremble because results are not immediate. Most people are weak against time. They want comfort now, recognition now, victory now, victory now. validation now, resolution now. This makes them easy to move. They can be controlled with delay, bought with attention, pressured with uncertainty, trapped by the fear that if they do not act now, they will lose everything. But a man who can wait without revealing how long he can wait becomes difficult to pressure. You cannot easily threaten a man who is not visibly desperate. You cannot easily discount a man who does not show his minimum. You cannot easily rush a man whose timeline is private. So stop showing people your countdown. Stop letting your face reveal that you are waiting. Stop letting your voice reveal that delay frightens you. Stop letting every message, every silence, every pause, and every unanswered call pull your nervous system into the hands of someone else. Let them wonder how long you can hold your position. Let them become uncomfortable first. In a world addicted to reaction, patience becomes dominance. This does not mean you move slowly. It means you do not let others see where time has power over you. You can act with speed internally and still appear calm externally. You can prepare aggressively and still speak lightly. You can be building every day without letting your urgency leak into the room. The unsupported man must learn this difference. Inside, he is intense. Outside, he is measured. Inside, he knows the mission. Outside, he reveals only what serves it. Because power does not always belong to the man with the loudest desire. Often, it belongs to the man who can desire deeply without becoming readable. There is a moment when a man leaves before he leaves. He is still present physically, still polite, still functioning, still replying, still doing what must be done. But internally, something has closed. He has seen enough, measured enough, tolerated enough, learned enough. He has already left. This is the fourth rule. Hide your exit. Most men ruin this moment by announcing it. They say, "I am thinking of leaving." They say, "I do not know if I can keep doing this." They say, "Things need to change, or I am gone." Sometimes this is necessary. In honest relationships where repair is possible, a clear warning can be mature. A good person deserves the chance to understand what is being damaged. A serious bond deserves direct words before distance becomes final. But not every person is honest. Not every room wants repair. Not every relationship is built on mutual respect. With people who exploit, delay, dismiss, or manipulate, early announcement gives them time to prepare against you. They begin shaping the story before you move. They tell others you are unstable. They frame your departure as betrayal. They pretend they were the ones losing patience. They begin replacing you before you are gone. They use your warning as their preparation. Your exit becomes their narrative. The unsupported man cannot afford that. When you have no powerful name protecting you, no loyal group correcting lies, no one standing in the room saying, "That is not what happened," you must understand the cost of announcing too much too soon. Not every departure deserves a speech. Some exits must arrive as facts. A fact does not negotiate. A fact does not beg to be understood. A fact does not ask permission to exist. When you know you are done, stop performing emotional debates with people who had enough chances to see you clearly. Prepare quietly, secure your position, strengthen your options, reduce dependency, gather your resources, detach emotionally before you detach publicly. Then leave with precision, not noise, not drama, not revenge, precision. The door does not need to slam to be closed. This applies to jobs. It applies to friendships. It applies to business. It applies to rooms where your loyalty is used but not respected. It applies anywhere you have become useful enough to be kept but not valued enough to be honored. The unsupported man must never confuse emotional explanation with strategic movement. There are people who only take you seriously when you are about to leave. But by then, Their seriousness is not respect. It is fear of losing access. Do not mistake panic for love. Do not mistake delayed appreciation for loyalty. Do not mistake last-minute effort for transformation. If they needed your absence to recognize your value, they were not blind. They were comfortable. So hide your exit until your exit is ready. Leave internally first. Remove emotional dependency. Stop negotiating with disrespect. Stop trying to educate people who benefit from misunderstanding you. Stop placing your future in the hands of people who only become attentive when you are halfway out the door. The unsupported man does not threaten departure, he prepares it. The fifth rule is this: hide your flaw. Your flaw is the lowest point you will accept, the lowest amount of money, the lowest standard of respect, the lowest level of effort, the lowest version of treatment, the lowest condition before you walk away. Most men reveal their flaw because they confuse honesty with strategy. They say exactly what they will tolerate. They announce exactly how much they need. They tell people the minimum it would take to keep them. They expose the lowest offer they would accept, the lowest apology they would forgive, the lowest level of effort required to keep access. And then they are surprised when people give them exactly that, not more, exactly that. Because once someone knows the least you will accept, why would they offer more? This is how many men train others to give them the bare minimum. They reveal the line. People walk to the line. They stop just before consequence. Then they repeat the cycle. In work, a man reveals the lowest salary he would accept, and suddenly that number becomes the best offer available. The first number he confessed becomes the ceiling they pretend is generous. In friendship, a man reveals how much disrespect he will forgive, and that becomes the pattern. People learn that a small apology can purchase repeated access. In relationships, a man reveals how little effort is required to keep him emotionally available, and that becomes the standard. The other person does not have to rise. They only have to do enough to prevent him from leaving. In business, a man reveals how desperate he is to close the deal, and the deal closes around his desperation. Your flaw must remain private. People should know you have standards. They should not know the exact coordinates. Because the moment your flaw becomes visible, it stops protecting you. It becomes a target. The unsupported man needs leverage, not sympathy. And leverage disappears when your minimum is public. Hold your line internally. Know what you will not accept. Know where respect ends. Know where the negotiation becomes insult. Know the amount, the condition, the behavior, the tone, the pattern that tells you enough has been shown. But do not advertise the calculation. Let people discover consequences, not formulas. This does not mean you become unclear. It means you stop handing people the manual for how to keep you barely satisfied. A man with self-respect does not need to constantly explain his lowest acceptable standard. His behavior reveals it. His decisions reveal it. His absence reveals it. When the offer is too low, he does not collapse into justification. He declines. When the disrespect repeats, he does not turn his dignity into a courtroom. He adjusts access. When the effort becomes insulting, he does not beg someone to become serious. He removes the reward for unserious behavior. This is not cruelty. This is structure. The world teaches people how to treat you by watching what you continue to allow. If you keep rewarding low effort with full access, do not be shocked when low effort becomes the relationship. If you keep rewarding disrespect with explanations, do not be shocked when disrespect learns to wade through your speeches. If you keep accepting the minimum while asking for more, do not be shocked when people hear your requests, but obey your tolerance. Your tolerance speaks louder than your words. So hide your flaw, not because you're dishonest, because your dignity is not a bargaining chip. The sixth rule is this: hide your sources. Information is power, but the source of information is infrastructure. Most men destroy their own infrastructure because they want to prove they know something. They hear a private detail, then repeat it. They gain insight from one person, then reveal where it came from. They receive a warning, then use it carelessly. They burn the channel that gave them vision just to look informed for one moment. This is short-term ego destroying long-term power. The unsupported man must be smarter than this. When you have no powerful network, every trustworthy source matters. Every serious conversation matters. Every quiet warning matters. Every person who trusts you with truth is giving you responsibility, not a toy for status. Protecting a source is not paranoia. It is respect for the channel. Because information can often be replaced. Trust cannot. Once people know you cannot contain what you know, they stop telling you what matters. And once your sources dry up, you become blind again. A man without information walks into rooms late. He reacts after decisions have already been made. He hears news after power has already moved. He lives downstream from other people's choices. But a man with protected sources sees movement before it becomes public. He knows who is shifting, who is losing influence, who is gaining leverage, who is pretending confidence, who is quietly preparing an exit, who speaks with loyalty in public but moves with self-interest in private. This does not require gossip. It requires discipline. Receive information without becoming intoxicated by it. Know more than you say. See more than you prove. And never trade your intelligence network for a moment of social performance. The unsupported man must understand this deeply. Not all silence is emptiness. Some silence is storage. Some silence is protection. Some silence is the reason people can trust you with what they would never tell a louder man. Be the man who can hear something valuable and not immediately spend it for attention. Be the man who can hold truth without needing credit for possessing it. Be the man who understands that power often comes not from having more information, but from being trusted with information before others receive it. That trust must be guarded. The seventh rule is this: hide the rules. This is the final rule because it protects all the others. Never reveal that you operate by these rules. Do not announce that you are strategic. Do not tell people you study power. Do not walk around performing mystery. Do not make silence look theatrical. Do not turn discipline into a costume. The highest form of strategy is to not look strategic. Because once people know you are consciously guarding information, they begin searching for what you are hiding. They analyze your silence. They question your warmth. They inspect your words. They treat every disclosure as a tactic. And sometimes they are right. But now you have made them alert. You have turned natural behavior into a game of detection. This is where many men fail after learning power. They discover a few rules, then they want credit for knowing them. They post about it, talk about it, signal it, perform it. They want people to know they are no longer naive. And by doing that, they become naive again. Do not become the man who discovers strategy and starts dressing like a warning sign. The true operator does not look like a man trying to be powerful. He looks calm, simple, present, sometimes warm, sometimes open, sometimes quiet, but never careless. He reveals enough to seem human, not enough to become vulnerable. He speaks enough to build trust, not enough to hand over leverage. He listens enough to gather truth, not enough to expose what he is gathering. The strongest mask is not looking dangerous, it is looking natural. Machiavelli understood that men judge more by appearances than reality. That is not a complaint about human nature, it is an instruction. If people judge by appearance, then your appearance must be governed. If people respond to what they think they see, then do not hand them an image that makes them defensive, curious, or suspicious too early. Appear simple. Operate strategically. Do not let the room feel your entire mind. Let people underestimate the depth behind your calm. Let them mistake your patience for passivity. Let them think your silence means you have no plan. Let them believe you are easy to read because you do not perform complexity. The unsupported man must not become a cartoon of power. He must become quiet competence. A man who does what he says he will do, but says less than he could. A man who moves without asking for applause. A man who protects his future from the hunger of other people's opinions. A man who does not need to be understood before he executes. This is the philosophy. The unsupported man survives by becoming disciplined, silent, and unreadable. Not bitter, not paranoid, not cruel, disciplined. He understands that abandonment can become training. Being ignored can become freedom. Being doubted can become cover. Having no support can become the reason he stops leaking energy into people who never had the power to crown him in the first place. You were not abandoned to collapse. You were abandoned to learn self-command. You were not ignored because you were worthless. You were ignored because the world does not recognize unfinished power. So stop begging it to notice the process. Build, study, train, earn, observe, detach, move, and reveal only what serves the mission. Let your doubters think they know you. Let your family believe you are still the old version. Let your friends underestimate your discipline. Let society ignore you while you become useful, skilled, controlled, and undeniable. The man they dismiss is often the man they fail to defend against. That is your advantage. Protect it. Do not explain the architecture of your rise. Do not announce the man you are becoming. Do not show people how you read them. Do not reveal how long you can wait. Do not announce every exit. Do not expose your flaw. Do not burn your sources. And above all, do not tell people you live by these rules. Appear simple. Operate strategically. Build in silence. Arrive as a fact. Subscribe to Depths of Psyche if you are building with no support, no network, and no excuses, no support, no permission. Build anyway.